Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
It's coming, the new family of EC polymer notes.
What is different about these notes?
The feel.
Polymer notes are made from a thin plastic film which makes the notes feel smoother than the paper notes.
The orientation.
The notes have a portrait orientation. You will read the notes from top to bottom instead of left to right as you do with the paper notes.
Unique tactile feature.
The front of each note has raised bumps at the top left-hand corner. These bumps form shapes that are familiar to you.
Holographic foil strip.
This feature is on the $20, $50, and $100. When you tilt the notes, the images and colors in this section will change.
New image on the $50.
The back of the $50 bears the image of former governor of the ECCB, the late Honorable Sir K. Dwight Venner.
New signature.
All the notes bear the signature of the current governor, Timothy N.J. Antoine.
EC polymer notes. Cleaner, safer, stronger.
Grenada moves to improve trade balance. We'll have details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for Thursday, June 13th, I am Rakisha St. Louis. Grenada moves towards improving the balance of trade with a worrying deficit of $1.17 billion in 2018. A national exporters consultation was held on Thursday to chart the way forward for critical improvements in the trade environment. The consultation focused on the Exporters Fresh Produce Act, requirements for trade in soursop and golden apples, and the importance of striking a balance between imports and exports. Trade has been described as pivotal to economic development. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Trade, Aaron Francois, says Grenada must work to rectify the deficit in trade in 2018.
At the end of 2018, we had a trade deficit of $1.17 billion. Yeah? Above 1.05 billion in 2017. So it's increasing. This deterioration was driven by an 11.1% increase in the value of imports. So Grenada continued to import significantly more than we are exporting. We all know that trade is pivotal to economic development.
While the Ministry of Agriculture is concerned about the trade deficit, it is highlighting the importance of maintaining standards and transparency in the export markets. Permanent Secretary Elvis Moraine says the time has come for farmers and stakeholders to change the way they do business. He says trade is not just about local earnings, but economic development.
One of the things that hit us to the core is the issue of traceability. Whatever we do, whatever we put on the export market, in case, God forbid, something, were to happen, we have to be able to find a very clear mechanism by which we can trace, the source of this. Now, I really applaud some of you for keeping this going, but of course, the time has come for you to lift the standard of what you do. And we have to focus on, of course, maintaining standard. Now, what you're doing is not just an individual thing, but it's the face of the tri-island state of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique.
Grenada's Foreign Minister Honorable Peter David and his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov have discussed the construction of a regional medical center in Grenada, whose services will be available to citizens in the Caribbean. And according to Mr. Lavrov, this project is very promising. It was discussed during a meeting between both men following an official visit to Russia by Minister David. They say this could change the face of medical care in the region. Both men discussed the prospects of implementation of projects in the area of healthcare, investment, education and culture, among others. Minister David also discussed selling fish products, spices, coffee and cocoa to Russia. According to Mr. Lavrov, they also discussed the delivery of Russian vaccines and medical equipment to the Caribbean.
Speaking both as Minister for Foreign Affairs of Grenada and as Chairman of the Conference of Foreign Ministers of Carriacou, I say that I am optimistic that the relationship between the Russian Federation, Grenada and the Caribbean region will be deepened and certainly will work to the benefit of both the Russian Federation, Grenada, the Caribbean region and the entire world.
Grenada's Foreign Minister, Honorable Peter David. His official visit to Moscow is the first such visit of a Grenadian foreign minister to Russia since the re-establishment of bilateral diplomatic ties in 2002. This is the National Report. We'll have more news after the break.
Every summer, the Spice Island of Grenada is transformed into the Caribbean's biggest party, Spice Man. Come experience the warmth of our people, trending theme fats, the revelry, the pageantry, and why we are the Jab Nation. The Kids Our Future shines on August 3rd in the Children's Carnival Frolic and the Junior Calypso Show. 7 beauties take center stage as the Queen of Carnival is crowned on majestic Thursday, August 8th. The prestigious Soca and Groovy Monarchs are crowned on Carnival Friday night, August 9th. Enjoy the pulsating rhythms of the Still Pan at the Junior and the Senior Panorama on Carnival Saturday, August 10th, and Real Steel, August 17th. The March Gras crowns the Calypso Monarch on Carnival Sunday, August 11th. 2 days of frolicking in the Caribbean sun kicks off on Monday morning, August 12th, with the biggest juve in the world, followed by pageant and Monday night mass. The creativity and splendor of our mass parades on the road Carnival Tuesday, August 13th. Join us in the Jab Nation of Grenada, August 8th to 12th for Spice Mass 2019. Many events, one carnival.
Welcome back. The future of beekeeping looks bright as the Ministry of Agriculture, through collaborative efforts with the Food and Agricultural Organization, put plans in place to boost the local beekeeping sector. Through a one-year project titled Strengthening the Apiculture Value Chain in Grenada, the ministry will support the development of policy and action plan to increase the livestock production, honey production, the development of a national honeybee surveillance system, training of beekeepers and extension officers, and improvement of the institutional capacity of the Beekeepers Association of Grenada will all be given priority going forward. We get more in this Mina Booker report.
The project Strengthening the Apiculture Value Chain in Grenada aligns with the Ministry of Agriculture's objective of promoting sustainable agriculture, forestry and fisheries production, and the strengthening of food and nutrition security. Project consultant for the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO Dr. Patricia Bedford, was on Island Tuesday to meet with beekeepers and explained the focus of the project.
We hope to Good morning, Grenada, and welcome to another one of our series, Hard Talk. My name is Devon Romain. Sheldon, you'll be in with us a little later on. All right. Good morning to all of you who have just joined us. All right. It's a beautiful Grenadian morning. Yeah. Enjoying the weather in Grenada. Some of you still have cold weather for whatever reason, I don't know. Yeah. Good morning again to all our police officers, our nurses, civil servants, teachers, students, wherever you are. Bus drivers who've joining us right about now, good morning. We are coming to you live via 89.5 CRFM. All right, 97.5 City Sound, 92.9, up there in Carriacou and PD Martinique, and 94.9 We Noise Radio out there in Brooklyn. Good morning, Wade, and good morning to all of you out there in the diaspora. Right? It's another of the Hard Talk program. And hey, we get it off early this morning. It's an open line. You call, share, give your comments, whatever you want to talk about. Right about now, you can do that. The number is 440-7377, 440-7377, and for overseas guests, 347-329-3101. Give us a call. Make your comments, right? Agriculture. I just wanted to start off, that opening bat with agriculture this morning. It's a topic that, we must continue to talk about. It's something that we have to, as a people, continue to be involved in. Because remember, that's the breadbasket. That's without agriculture, right? We cannot feed ourselves. Food security is important, right? And we must pay attention to agriculture. We have seen a number of initiatives, right, laid out by government to assist farmers to improve, right, the crops and so to plant more, right? Crops like the sauersup, the avocado, as a pear, and so coconuts, all these things. And then, after Ivan, we got, a shot in the arm. We lost a lot of it, spices, all these things, right? It is so very important, our cocoa and our nutmeg, revitalize them, right? Over the years, government has, injected a substantial amount of money to help farmers, right? And so to go back into the land. And it has, yield a lot. For example, the cocoa, right? We have seen over the last year or two, right? The amount, the increase in cocoa production, right? Nutmegs, and so the soursoups. And so we must not stop there. We must ensure that we continue to be part of what is so important. We must be able to feed ourselves, right? Our children and our grandchildren down the line, 20, 30 years from now, must be able to get involved in agriculture, right? In whatever way. I mean, technology has reached us, So let us help train our young ones, get them involved, right? In whatever way they see fit, right? And help them feed ourselves, right? A nation that is independent, that feeds itself, right, is a strong nation. And that is where Grenada is going, right? Good morning to all of you on the line. And so, wherever you are, all right, good morning to you. It's, welcome to another Hard Talk program. Agriculture, man, it is so, so important, right, for us to pay attention. We have heard in the post-cabinet press conference by Minister Horsford, being Horsford, outlining some of the strategies government has put in place to assist farmers. Financially, government is about to spend over around $300,000 to help in the farm labor support program, right, to help farmers clear, right, their properties, their criterias, right? You must be a registered farmer. You must be a farmer, doing this thing commercially, right? You just do a quarter acre of land and expect that government, will pump thousands of dollars to help you, right? You have to show that interest, right? cooperatives, groups of young women and young men come together, right, and approach government, come up with different plans to do agro-processing, right? There is money out there. Government has put, hundreds of thousands of dollars in the Grenada Development Bank, right? Go there and get involved. We have to take agriculture much more serious. It is important for us. If you cannot feed yourself, how would you survive? How will you survive? You have to be able to feed yourself. You cannot afford to continue to import hundreds of millions of dollars, right? And in all sorts of produce that we don't know, how long it's been on the shelf. Look at the amount of poultry produce that we import every year. Millions of dollars. I know we can cut on these things. We have just seen the foreign minister, right, on a visit to Russia, trying to organize cooperation between Russia and Grenada, right, to assist in the whole question of wheat. As we mentioned yesterday, you know how important it is if Grenada was to reach an agreement with a country as Russia, who supplies, wheat for the world. One of the largest producers of wheat in the world. Do you understand the importance, the meaning of something like that? Right? Byproducts of that wheat that is manufactured here in Grenada, like flour, animal feeds, and other things, will be much cheaper. We will be able to cut down on our poultry bill, right? Our pork bill, beef, all these things and them. It's a plus for us. Once this agreement comes through with Russia, our foreign minister and the foreign minister of Russia has been in talks for a couple of days, trying to arrange and have an agreement so Grenada as a country can benefit. We must not lose sight of that. That can help propel a sector of our agriculture, right, to higher heights, and we must take advantage of it. One of the things that we have to think serious about, especially our young people and our women, get involved in cooperatives. Start putting added value to so many of our agricultural produce that we have. Come up with a plan. Group yourself together. There is financing, millions of dollars. Over 4-5 million US dollars has been, put aside for Grenada and I think St. Vincent to assist, right? Young farmers, persons wanting to get in the agro-processing and all these type of things. We as a people must take advantage of that. We must be a self-sufficient nation. Over 30, 40 years ago, we have been taught that. This thing has been pushed into us through the revolution, and it continues up to this day. Understanding the importance of agriculture, right, and our ability to feed ourselves. Our nation depends on that. The future of our nation depends on our ability to feed ourselves. We must not continue to depend on foreign food. We must be able to grow our own food and eat our own food. Look at the whole question of fish. Fish, we are surrounded by water. We have the ability to export millions of dollars of fish. We have to get involved, investigate, find out the different programs that are there, right, to assist you farmers and fisher folks out here in Grenada. There are programs through the Grenada Development Bank, the Ministry of Agriculture. Seek information. I started off with the whole question of agriculture because I want to emphasize the importance at this point in time for us to seriously think much more serious in feeding ourselves. It is so important. Imagine we have to depend on neighboring countries and so for over 50, 60% of what we eat. That is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. Look at the development that is taking place in our country right now through tourism, right? The expansion of hotels and new hotels being built and everything. Now, look at what is going on. That which makes agriculture much more important. Good morning and welcome.
Hey, brother Devon.
Good morning to you, my friend.
How are you?
Not too bad, and welcome.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, brother Devon, I share the sentiment of what's speaking about it presently. I always say to young people, if you all form yourself in an association and you go to the government, right? You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Go right ahead.
And you go to the government, right? The government will assist you all with the finance because the government has the land, right? They're willing to think for the young people to go into agriculture. But I always say that going for yourself alone it will be difficult. But if you allow 5 or 6 of you come together, right, and you want to produce some crops, or you don't want to do it for the money, but you have to do it because you love it. You love to be in agriculture. Right? And you go to government for finance, you will get it. You will get it because, see, sometimes we don't want to go and do something for ourselves. But if we come together as young men, right, and we go to government for finance, right, the government will help us. They will help us because agriculture is key. We have to feed ourselves. And brother, I believe one of the problems we have, we know like young people growing up, you have parents will tell their children, I work hard in agriculture, I work hard on the road to get one, to send you to give you a good education. Right? I don't want to go and do agriculture, work in agriculture to get money, right? To make a living. Because if you check the lawyers, doctors, right? Magistrates, they are the professional, but they still planting, they do agriculture, right? So we had to change the attitude of that because many have done something like agriculture young people. What they want to be? Want to be a doctor, want to be a lawyer, want to be a teacher, want to be a police. So how do you find some of them saying, I want to go into agriculture? Well, this bringing a lot of money, and not only the money, but we could help feed ourselves. Because when you look at things that imported, that come to our island, we don't know what it is. So then it's very difficult to work out what it is. Well, we consuming it. But everything right in our country here, we know what we're eating, and we refuse to eat it. We're going for foreign. So I want to say, I applaud the government on the initiative that they're taking with farm labor, right? And this is the way to go. And I want the government, and the government on the right track with the farm laborers, right? So that is the way to go. I want to say congratulations to the Minister of Finance and the government for coming to the association with farm labor. Well, Devon, you have one for the Sheldon Regina yet?
No, he's not in us yet, but he'll be here.
Oh.
All right?
Okay, well.
All right, my friend. Have a wonderful weekend.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Yes, my friend. Agriculture, I started off with agriculture because of the importance of it. And there are negatives in trying to improve, right, on the delivery of agriculture in our country. We look at the whole question of pre-larceny, right? And so it's a serious problem. Right, pre-larceny. But the government has continuously keep putting things in place to strengthen our pre-larceny task force, and so educating farmers much more, assisting farmers with things they can do to deter, persons who continue to commit this act. Right, it is an ongoing process, and we need each other. Pre-larceny will not be solved only by the police or even just by the farmer alone. We need the total support of the community. We need those who buy produce from persons that don't have land, who are not farmers. We need to do better than that. Good morning and welcome.
Devon, good morning.
Good morning, Camille.
And good morning to Sheldon, wherever he is. And good morning to HARDTALK family, home and abroad, international. Good morning. Good morning to my darling Patty. I just get a lovely message you sent for me, girl. Matthew, good morning. Mr. Romain.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, the topic is about agriculture. I don't know much.
Well,
But
well, it's
I
not.
do me the thing.
Well, it's not the
You know,
topic, but I started off with that.
I plant little block one thing around my house, and I don't regret. I don't want to buy.
Of
I
course.
plant little okra, sorrel, peas. I have peas right now in the fridge from the little. You understand?
Yeah.
Right now, all the thing I plant, but the sun killing them. It's right here. And Sheldon, I said Sheldon, Devon, I want no sympathy with Camille. I don't want no sympathy from anybody that hear my voice and hear what I say this morning. I want no sympathy from nobody. Sheldon, when I came back from America, our family members, yes, nobody, I didn't come back with money. But a good friend of mine tell me, can we go buy tea? Because I rented a little room in Cherry. And I went. And the reason for saying that, I was talking about the agriculture. I picked 2 pineapples yesterday. 2 pineapples. Right by the house. And I bring it to me, a good friend. That, that man gave me that little house spot with love. And I was the biggest anything. When I went there, I had a white jersey and anything. You understand? And that man gave me that place. And I have all of the things planned. And I don't want to be ungrateful when I call and see people saying, oh, I want them to shine for me. I don't want them to shine for me. I still take over. I'm taking care of myself, although I have 2 sick legs with ulcers in it. And I suffer with pain. You understand? But what I want to say is, I could hold me in a bad breakfast, I plant on that same spot. That Chef Devon. What we gotta get on my breakfast tree? I mean, it's hot sun killing alcohol. You gotta live with alcohol because of the sun. Right? So if I get more land, and I don't like somebody on our farmers on Bible say you.
Camille, you break. Camille. Camille.
You understand?
Camille, your song in a little far. You're sort of breaking up. You're breaking up a little bit, eh?
I'm breaking up?
Yeah, I could barely hear. Your song a little better now.
All right.
Go ahead.
Yes. Mr. Scott, Mr. Romain, we have good soil, rich soil.
Yep.
And you will get even now because of the minister. Yes, I'm breaking up.
Yeah. Go ahead and you listen to the radio. Listen to me on the phone. Talk to me on the phone.
Okay. Sorry. Yes. There is people now, because of the minister, that speak about agriculture, the money they want to put in agriculture, the negative people that have not nice to see. I mean, we have to stop that. We are one people. In this country. Yes. When we have a problem in food, I will call back.
All right. Okay, Camille. Yeah. All right. Have a good day. All right, darling. Well, he gonna be in a little later on. He has some business to take care of. So.
All right.
All right.
Yes.
All right, darling. You have a wonderful day.
I just want to say good morning and have a blessed weekend to everybody and all the fathers and to you have a happy Father's Day, Mr. Watts, Mr. Deputy, Mr. David, and everybody. All I heard him talk about the in Russia and all this thing. All that is good.
Yeah.
All that is good.
All right.
And to all the fathers, happy advanced Father's Day. Because me they're giving me trouble, so I can't say what I have to say.
Don't worry,
Hey,
darling.
later.
Okay, darling, you take care. Don't worry, you always have a voice here, Kami. No matter what, you always have a voice here. You know, and again, I want to say good morning to all of you who have joined us on the live. And hey, Sheldon should be with us at any moment now, you know. And so, in the meantime, you know, Hard Talk has to continue. And so we sticking a little bit on agriculture, but hey, when you call, you can, you know, share your views and so on, any other topic, anything that affect you, that is important, you know, nation building. And so even if you have, I mean, you have maybe some criticism about something you may see going on. And so, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, my dear brother Devon.
Good morning, Mommy
God,
Jacob.
last week I was up headquarters. I don't see you. Oh, you didn't present yourself?
No, I wasn't there.
Don't laugh.
My apologies.
I come now to beat you up because I know I'm going to beat you good.
And I wouldn't mind that.
There to help to take the bills.
Don't worry. We're going to make up for that. We're going to make up for that. I promise you. I promise you we're going to make up for that.
You want to make up?
Yes, we will.
Yeah,
you know I love you. You know? Oh, so how you doing?
Oh, God. But you see, this boy, we have to pray, we have to thank God for what we have in Grenada. I tell people, what?
Yep.
You have a program, eh? You know I'm going to tell you to listen to that program? You don't listen to Brother Andre?
Of course.
Eh?
Of course. I mean, I can't stop listening to Andre.
From 12 o'clock to 1?
To 1. Well, not all the time, because by the time that program starts, I'm just getting off of this program. So sometimes it's difficult, but when I get a chance to listen to it with Mr. Pierre.
Very nice program.
Oh, yeah.
You talk about everything you want to talk about.
Exactly.
Yes.
Innovative, you know?
You see, you see, as I tell Brother, what is his name again? I forget his name. As I tell him, as I tell him, Grenada is very nice. I travel abroad already, you know. I go in Jamaica with the church. I go in St. Lucia. And let me tell you, down here, you see when people passing, they take out what they have to take out. They pee on the side of the road. A lady go behind a vehicle, pull down she clothes and she pee. This kind of thing, you can't do that abroad, especially Jamaica. I see a lady. I tell you know what they say, brother. A lady. The lady just pulled up and she spit on the ground. Who tell you? She had to pay 20 US in Jamaica. Is US because some people is US. When I went in Jamaica, is US money to spend, you know.
Yeah, well, and you see in Jamaica, well, every country have a different, you know, types of laws and so. But let me ask you something, Ms. Jacob. When it comes to agriculture and so, I know you're not able as a young ones to do as much planting and so, but as we move forward as a country and so, how you find the agriculture state, you know, the state of agriculture in Grenada? Give me your opinion.
Agriculture could never be as agriculture before. Agriculture before, as I tell him historically, I need you like to talk to me, okay? I tell him, long ago men, they have in a group, 10 men, they walking. When you tell them, telling you about they walking. And when you hear they come, they cutlass, they planting, they digging. One time, everything planting that same day, you know. Yam planting that same day, potato planting that same day, peas planting that same day, because everybody get together.
So was I together in this one, a group of farmers come and help this
That's
one,
right.
and you move from that. So it was similar to a cooperative.
Come and look, help farmers. That time, Uncle Gary didn't also help people, give people money to do nothing, help people before used to do the thing for themselves, and especially when who had children on a Saturday, those children going and they picking out the little bush. When we don't pick out this little bush in that one, Daddy, we go in our next. It's neighbors.
But
family.
I think too, Ms. Jacob, one of the things, as you rightly say, we need to bring back is that kind of community spirit in us. When we can help each other, when we can do much more to feed ourselves from within the communities, that will help a lot, you know.
And you know what again, brother? When you hear farmers, when you hear neighbors cooking, they cooking, yes. Well, I go up with my grandmother too, because when I see she cooking, well, is three of us, which is 2 children, and me is a little baby. And when she cooking. I say, yeah, one day I say, Granny, all this amount of food, what to do with all this? She say, darling, it's come, you come in. You have to cook for the little one in the road.
Yes.
For the old man in the road. For the old man in the road.
For the stranger who go appear.
Yes, because you don't know who go come.
Who come across. Yeah. It was at different times. We had more love in terms
Amen.
in the
Ali
community and
love
so.
gone. You don't have no love again.
And anyhow, Miss Jacob, we gotta go. You have a wonderful weekend.
And I'll go beat you. I'm not giving up on the licks with you.
No, don't worry yourself. We go make up for that.
Love you, darling. Have a wonderful and a blessed weekend.
Yes, my dear.
Okay, sweetheart?
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Right.
Yes. Good morning again to all our silver-headed citizens of our nation. Those who have made contributions, especially in agriculture. I mean, you talk about the persons who are right now in the 70s and the 80s, even the 90s, right? The contribution they have made towards agriculture, bringing agriculture to where it is at this point in time. We must continue to applaud that. We must continue to take a page off of a lot of them, what they do, right? They have been able to stabilize and to ensure, make us understand that agriculture is one of the backbone, the pillar of this country, right? We, this generation and future generation, has to continue to add technology, to add a bit more love, that community spirit, that togetherness to ensure that we continue to feed ourselves. We have to be self-sufficient. There must be no excuse for that as a nation. We cannot continue to depend on other countries that have to cross the seas, right, and the airwaves to come to bring food for us. We will starve. We will suffer. We will not be an independent nation or continue to be an independent nation. We have to change that attitude. We have to cut down on the amount of chicken that we import, pork, right? The amount of fresh vegetables that we bring in from other countries. We can do better. I know we can do better. And I appeal to our young people. You have the energy. You have technology on your side. Come up with ways and means that you can add technology to agriculture to enhance it, to monitor it, to ensure that we have persons, right, to monitor the disease, to monitor the soil. And so we have to be much more proactive, and I appeal to our young people, get involved in agriculture through the Imani program, through the Ministry of Agriculture, whatever way. Be a registered farmer. Come together, join cooperatives, right? 5, 6, 7 of you, young women, right? Single mothers, group yourself together. Come up with ways and means that you can introduce much more byproducts out of so many agricultural produce that we have in our country. I beg of us as a people, right, to put much more effort in agriculture. Our government is leading the way. They have been putting things in place to ensure that we sustain as a people. We need much more of our people to to get more actively involved in agriculture. Another side of agriculture that is a turn-off to a lot of people, and we suffer for it. Even the vendors, you suffer for it. But it's a practice that, I can't come down much on it, but I have to mention it. The way in which the relation between farmers, right, or vendors and the buyers. Good morning and welcome. Good morning. Hello? I don't think. Yeah, and it's a. I mention it because it is a turn off. There is a trend that you see, right, with some of our farmers and our vendors, and so the way in which they provide that service to customers. And they must be mindful of that because it affects agriculture. It affects the smooth running of agriculture. Good morning and welcome.
Yes, you're preaching this morning, brother. Good morning, Devon. How are you doing today, brother?
Good morning, my friend, and I'm good. Welcome.
All right. What first question? When is where's the whole class of what should I say 78 79 reunion?
But between me and you, and I'll be very honest, I have no idea. And that
you
shouldn't
think it's
happen.
time we put that together, man?
Well, it's possible.
All right, you talk.
Spearhead, start the ball rolling.
Huh?
Start the ball rolling. We could put things together. There's so much of us who can, do a thing,
Yeah, it's doable. It's doable.
It's doable.
I've still seen a few of us around still.
Oh yeah.
But what happened? Father's Day weekend, shall I take a early vacation weekend?
Well, you never know. If he does show, or when he does show, it's part. A man got to do what he got to do, eh?
A man got to do what he got to do. Or
That-
else he be forced to do it.
Mister,
And you may not enjoy it.
Mister, leave me out
But
of
I
that.
like the discussion this morning, man. You're
Yeah,
talking the gospel.
Yeah, well,
Keep doing your job, man.
because agriculture is so important for us, man. It's it's a way for us
Vital.
to come out of slavery, and so
It's very, very, very vital.
yeah.
Vital process. And we should really think. It's not like the agriculture we know back in the day when it's just hard labor and toiling and all of that.
We have better
With
opportunities.
the inventive the technology today. Technology today.
And we more
makes
mechanized
it a
now.
lot
Yeah.
more viable,
Well,
profitable.
hey. Anyhow, it is. And hey, man.
All right.
Happy Father's Day in advance, man.
And same to you, brother.
Yes,
Same
well,
to you.
you know how we do. All
And
right?
listen, you will get yours again tomorrow and Sunday.
And
on
Sunday.
The radio.
All right.
On market time and on Jamboree time.
Yeah, stop waking me up with this market time, this early time, man. One
Why
love, my
not?
brother.
Why not? You claim that you just have to make breakfast on a Saturday morning.
I never
So I
tell
had
you.
to make sure up so the wife could get her breakfast, her breakfast in time.
You encouraging things that a lot of us men go get mad with you about. Anyhow, we'll have a wonderful day and a wonderful
You
weekend.
have a blessed day, brother.
Take care.
You do the same.
All right.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and before I forget, man, I want to wish all our fathers out there, right? In advance, happy Father's Day. Father's Day is every day. For those of us who continue to participate in our children's life. And don't be ashamed if you can't be with your child every day or you can't give your child what they always want to know. Don't be ashamed. Be a father. Be there for them. Talk with them. Right? Some of us may not have had the best of experience in years gone by, but we can learn from our mistakes. Being a father is a wonderful thing. Life experience has taught me as an individual that, children appreciate when mothers and fathers are always there to have a conversation with them, to be part of their life. You may not be able to be living together, but just being part of their life every day. They appreciate it and they look up to you, right? Because they are your children, right? Those of us fathers who the child may not be your biological child, but you still a father because you part of their upbringing, right? You part of the example that they follow. And we as fathers must appreciate that and be proud of that. You know, it's about time for us fathers to do more, right? To be a part of our children's lives more. And I must say, you know, I've been seeing a lot of young fathers out there, right, who have been taking and being part of their children's life, daily life. Good morning and welcome.
Yeah, Devon.
Hey, boss, what go?
How you there, boy?
How things?
Are they?
Well, we I try.
Let me just give you all about this morning.
Yes, man.
I don't feel right yesterday in the funeral.
Okay.
You hear me?
Yeah, man, I hear you loud and clear.
I don't feel so right in that funeral yesterday.
Okay.
Because those people I expect to see there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see them. Only 3 ministers that were there.
Okay. Well, perhaps it's possible.
3 ministers I recognize it. Bowen, Clement, and Miss Modest.
Okay. Well, I know definitely Mr. Bowen. I mean Minister Bowen,
Mr. Bowen was there.
as the acting Prime Minister.
Miss Modest was there.
Yeah, and the parliamentary representative.
Not when somebody alive, you must recognize them.
But I think, and I think there must be some reasons, and so why most of them were not there, you know.
So why you tell me them ministers from them country couldn't make a two bus and come down?
Yeah, well,
man,
I
feel hot about that. Since yesterday, I say I will call, you know, and talk about it.
Well, yeah, you know when something.
Good people must be recognized.
Yeah. And he's one of us. He's one of us, and has been a stalwart and everything. And
that's how I see it too.
I share your sentiments and everything but it's just, you know, there may be reasons why a lot of them were not there.
That's why I say I will talk about it.
Of course.
Yeah.
And hey, and as a stalwart of the party, you have a right.
That's right.
Right to air your views and so in a respectable way.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
I appreciate that, my brother. So hey, man, Sunday is Father's Day, man. You have a wonderful Father's Day.
Yeah, you too.
All right?
All right, take care.
All right, my brother. One love.
Yeah.
Good. Yes, Grenada. And as I was just on the whole question of fathers, and so let me just continue. I mean, it is so good to be a father, even my grandfather, being part of children's life. May not be your child, maybe somebody else's child that you have been playing a role in. And so, I mean, feel good. Take a bow, right? Because you have been there for someone. They respect you, they look up to you. Right? So feel good. Enjoy that day, and not just that day, but all the days of your life when you as a person, as a father, can continue to contribute in the upbringing of children's, you know, lives, and so make them feel proud and be there for them every time. All right? So to all the fathers out there, feel proud. Feel proud that you are doing something good. Continue to do what you're doing, right? And so, and hey, the rewards are there. The rewards are there when you can sit and see your child achieve certain things in life. Good morning and welcome. Good morning. Okay, good morning. Hello. Welcome to the program. This is Hard Talk. Good morning. I guess that person here. And we coming to you live via 89.5 CRFM, 97.5 City Song. Right, in Carriacou, 92.9, all right, in the Sister Isle, and We Noise Radio out there in Brooklyn. And give us a call. It's an open line. Feel free. Let's discuss, you know, whatever is on your mind. It's 440-7377 and 347-329-3101. Good morning and welcome. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, my dear.
Yeah, and you hearing me clear now?
Yes, I hear you a bit clear now.
You know, I understand the last caller I heard his story. I'm talking about all the ministers. But you know, not everyone caller, not all the ministers could have gone. At least the acting Prime Minister was there, and Mr. Clement and Ms. Modest, and there is other ministries, people from the different ministries attend. We have to remember, that we have government business to take care of in the ministry. So not all the ministers of government
Kami,
but
Kami,
send somebody to represent them.
Kami.
We have to look at that. So it's not nice to say that not only when you're alive, we know you.
Kami.
But only when you die, because it's
Camille,
you
you.
understand? So we must
No, you got to.
think when we say things.
We can't hear
Because
what she's
there's
saying.
other people there from the different ministries. All the ministers could look up to them.
Camille, you would have to. Camille, you have to call back because we could barely hear you. We could barely hear the conversation. That you understand? We could barely hear you. So you would have to call back.
And Patty, you call me when my phone is not. My phone is in trouble when I answer.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, darling. Yeah, sorry about that, Camille, but you and listen on the phone and the radio because you're getting a feedback and so. But your phone is definitely giving some problem. All right, and so again to all fathers, to all of you wherever you are in the diaspora, and so right to the HARDTALK family, all right, to the NNP family, to Grenadians on a whole, fathers. Have a wonderful, wonderful Father's Day come Sunday. Good morning and welcome. Good morning. All right. I have a thing this morning for agriculture, and I really want to keep talking about agriculture for a part. Good morning and welcome.
Romain, good morning.
Good morning to you, my friend.
Hello?
Yes, hello?
Yes, good morning. I'm calling about that Mount Rush Road again.
Oh, yes.
It's, they said that they thing to make the detriment and thing to the hot mix and thing. We don't have that. But Mount Rush Road doesn't need that. What Mount Rush Road needs is concrete. They don't need no hot mix. And it's, look, I'm a bus driver up there, right?
Yeah.
Last month I buy 2, and that is just part of it. 2 bottom arm, 2 top arm, $5,000. Plus I have to pay to put it on. So it's nearly $6,000.
And you have an old school,
and every 4 or 5 months or so I have to do that. So there is a lot of money, a lot of us who is walking bus up there and want to the bus be walking good so the people will get a good ride and so on. And we need that road to be fixed.
Yeah.
Also the Darbo Road. Yeah. We're spending too much money on parts. A lot of money going on bushing and spraying, whatever.
And
too much money when the year and we are spending the most money. Now what? I have a partner walking over. And I have a Nissan bus, right? Those E25. And he tell me he don't know when last he changed a bushing on the bus. He said about more than 2 years ago.
Wow.
With me, every 2 or 3 months I have to change bushing.
Yeah. I know. I feel your pain. I know that piece of road, man. I know.
It's time. You don't have to get no detriment to fix up there.
Yeah.
Let them come and put open drain in the place and concrete the place. That's what we want. We don't want no hot mix.
All right, my friend. And I would advocate for that for you. And as a matter of fact, too, I mean, a number of years. Yeah, I was saying a number of years, while I was on gravel and on concrete board of directors, we had tried to organize an initiative where gravel and concrete together with some of the persons, the householders, and so within the area, come together and see what we could do with the drain and even the road itself. And so, and apparently that fell apart, sometime during the 2008, 2013 period, and so, because since back then, right, the situation that road, it's very, it's terrible. And one of the reasons for that too is the amount of heavy vehicles that pass on that road every single day. All right, so hey, I feel your pain, and I really hope it could be a collaborative effort between gravel and concrete, the government, the Ministry of Works, the parliamentary representatives, and the community, right, to come out and do something about it. All right, even if you do something temporary in the meantime, let's get rolling. And I continue to ask the community persons to come out and advocate. All right, talk to your MP and so on, and let him lobby on behalf of you to see what can be done. All right, and so, because that is what your representatives are there for. They may not be able to do everything as you want it, but having dialogue, continuous dialogue with them, they will understand and see the importance, right, of your needs. Don't just talk to them once or twice and give it up. No, it's a collaborative effort between we, the people, and the representatives that we put up there, the persons that seek our interests. Don't be afraid of our parliamentary reps. They are all wonderful people, right? They are people-oriented, right? They love people, especially those who are in need, especially those that the government, right, ensures that the government ensures everybody has it good, but there are those who need more than others, and that is where, right, our parliamentary representatives and so would help. So don't be afraid. Get them involved, dialogue with them, and together we will get this thing done. This government is not a government where just let things. It's a progressive government. It's a doing government. Look at the state of tourism sector in our country. Look at the development that is going on in our country. As I'm saying, we cannot have it all at once, but by stages, we will make it. Look at how agriculture and tourism, right, is tying up themselves. Look at how our farmers are benefiting, right, from the hotels that are being built in our country. They no longer would have to import a lot of vegetables that they usually will import. They have been in collaboration and agreement with farmers to supply them with a number of products that they use every day. That is progress. That is the way we need to go. Together, and it's a collaborative effort that not just one person or one business do. We come together to make it work. Everybody will benefit. Tourism and agriculture is what is, at this point in time, that is have us going. And in the meantime, we continue to train our young people to pick up the positions, right, in the different, establishments that are coming on stream. Look at Carriacou, multi-million-dollar project up in Conference in St. Andrews. You know what that will do to the economy of that constituency or part of St. Andrews? Hundreds of persons, if not thousands, will benefit and are benefiting as of now. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning to you all.
Good morning to you, my friend.
And the listening public. I heard Devon a while ago talking about agriculture, tourism. But Devon, even though things going bad, Devon, you won't say that, You're going to always support the good, the thing the government is doing. Yeah?
Well, of course, and I know the government is doing good. The government is assisting our farmers, ensuring, right, that they help feed the nation, and that is a fact. You don't want me to say that?
But Devon, I don't think everything you're saying is true. Agriculture is down, Devon, down low.
So prove to me, we are not here to say that agriculture is at its best. It's an ongoing something, and it has been for a number of years. Every particular administration had their role in improving agriculture, and they did. We may not have got it how we wanted it, and we're still looking for betterment, but it's an ongoing process. Agriculture has come far, far from what it used to be before. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say, I know you're going to defend and be positive.
No, it's not about defending. It's about the facts. It's about the facts. It's to ensure and it's to tell people what is going on in our country. What are the good things that are going on? If you want to dwell on the 1 or the 2% that are negatives and soon will be positive, then hey, that's up to you.
But at the end of the day, criticism is good, eh?
Of course it is good. That is why you are there. That is why you are contributing, you know.
Yeah.
Because criticism is healthy.
Well, I heard you a while ago. I just tuned in. I wasn't tuning in from morning. I just come in and I heard you talking about the agriculture and tourism. So I just wanted to hear that. So I'm still.
But let me ask you though, before you go, and in your own view, over the last couple of years, haven't you seen agriculture and tourism, even construction, right, on the rise in Grenada?
Well, I've been honest with you, Devon. Construction and tourism is on the rise. I'm being honest, but I wouldn't support you in saying that agriculture.
Okay, all right, and I understand. But let me tell you another thing. But don't you know that our farmers at this point in time, a number of our farmers, right, are beginning to benefit through the tourism sector?
Yeah, well, there must be a link.
Once you have, exactly.
There must be a link between tourism and agro.
And there's a continued improvement within the whole agriculture and tourism, because the more tourism project that comes in, the more agriculture benefits.
So what you're saying, there is positive signs, eh?
A lot of positive signs. And not just signs, there are a lot of positive things that are going on right now in agriculture because of tourism and because of the way a lot of us have changed our attitude, our eating habits. We eat more local.
Yes. I just wanted to come in, but thank you for listening.
You're most welcome, my friend. You're welcome anytime. All right. Yeah, so as I say, I mean, agriculture has to be one of our, continuous talking point. It has to be, because that is what feeds us. That is what feeds us, and good morning to all of you who have just joined us, including Mr. Scott, and welcome, because the people have been asking about you. Good morning to you, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. Sometimes, things pop up and you have to deal with them one time.
Yeah,
this was one of those mornings that something just pop up and I had to deal with it one time.
Well, you got to do what you got to do, man.
Yeah, sometimes a man's got to do what a man's got to do.
Glad for you to join us. And I stayed focused on agriculture because of the importance and so on, and the link between that and tourism and the benefit that it continues to bring to our people. And so on.
And Devon, we have been seeing improvements in agricultural production. I did mention specifically cocoa. And in this week's post-cabinet press briefing, we had the rollout by the Honorable Yolande Bain Horsford as to how we're going to be improving production in spices. And even on this program, we had mentioned that when you look at it, you're not seeing as much of the spice producers as before. And Minister was very specific. Honorable Yolande Bain Horsford was very specific when she spoke about spice production, especially in the St. David area. We know we have the Laura Herb and Spice garden up there. And she was very specific in relation to that, about production of spices, increase in coconut production. We realize a lot of people drinking coconut water and so right now, but also the dry coconut. Right now, dry coconut is king, right?
King. Coconut oil is boss.
Yeah, expensive. the coconut oil, kind of expensive. And because after Hurricane Ivan, it destroyed a lot of the trees. And it takes a long time to get coconut trees up to that level of production. And the coconut trees that we have now, and even those that were planted after Ivan, we kind of drinking the green coconut water with water jelly.
We didn't give them a chance.
Yeah. So,
but
production is up.
Yeah.
It is not a situation you go in the market and you can't find something. You find it.
And another thing, as we showed the positive, there are some one or two negatives, and I was trying to make the point with the way the service that is being provided by both some of our farmers who are vendors and even the vendors who provide that service to the customers, right? And so the whole question of pricing, right? The whole question of how you present your produce and so, because enough of times persons complain about, look, I'm out there and I can't get a sale. Look at what I sell. But
But I could tell you this though, if right now I decide I'm going in town and I'm going to look for a particular something and which part of the market to go, the ladies, whether it's I always call her Indian over on the side by where Jamrock used to be there. Facing what used to be Republic Bank original building there.
NCB.
Yeah, Indian. I know I'm looking for certain thing, I go by Indian. I know it have some ladies right towards the opening of Foodland there again.
Right there,
If I'm looking for some tomatoes or some okra. Or I might see somebody like Jab Moses in town. Yesterday I get some okra from him. So it's the thing is that we have produce out there. I think what a lot of persons are looking at are the international market for some of Grenada's produce. Grenada remains one of the only countries that can send full soursop outside of the region. Grenada remains. Trinidad doesn't have that luxury. You have to pulp. Trinidad has to pulp and so. So we can send the whole soursop down to Trinidad. But if they're going to resell, they have to pulp it or produce it into something to sell. Grenada can send the whole fruit outside. We've had markets. I remember Miss Williams out there. I'm trying to remember her first name. Out there in St. John. She used to do a lot of, over the years, she's deceased now, I believe, but she used to do a lot of the avocados and mangoes and so on going out of Grenada. And I think that's what a lot of people look at and they say, oh, agriculture and the down. They're still seeing the banana because you spent a lot of time in St. Andrew, so you would know what it was like on the fortnight with the bananas and fortnight when it came to nutmeg and so in days gone by. But we're in 2019, we're not in 1919. Things have changed.
Big time.
And we've lost preferential trade. The region, this has nothing to do with individual governments. This has nothing to do with the countries themselves. But the region has lost preferential trade in relation to banana. The preferential trade has now gone to South American countries. So the South American countries get to send all the banana. We don't have the geese boat coming here and collect a pile of banana again. Those days gone. And the lands on which we used to have that, people put houses. So the farmer had 3 or 4 children and who probably went and decided they're going to do something else while the banana trade gone through, due to no fault of the Caribbean governments. And they've decided, no, well, I'll put on a house there and rent.
Or split up the land between the children.
And sometimes the strangers end up living on the land because the farmer may have gone to the great beyond. He leave the land for the children. They decide, me ain't going and live there. Have a piece of land there. Let me put it in the bank and get some money. Or they take it and they sell it to somebody else who isn't using it for agricultural purposes. So you have those sort of things taking place. But to try and say that how agriculture gone through or that kind of thing, you have, and we mentioned it yesterday, what was done by Silver Sands, what will be done by Kimpton, by Kowana, and remember Silver Sands is just one property now, they're expanding to 3. You have what was the Rex Grenadian, now the Starfish, that is going to be reconstructed into a new facility and expanded. It means they need more food. So we have to be able to meet the needs of the tourism sector. So to watch one and say there isn't a tie-in with the other one, a person has to not understand what they're talking about fully to be able to make that mistake.
Yeah, and understanding how agriculture works, I mean, you can see the benefit. The average Grenadian could see it, but I think one of our weakest, attitude is to adapt to the change in how to operate. For example, agriculture is there, but how do we apply technology, right, more efficiently and towards agriculture? We have to start training our young people. We have to start sending them out to be agronomists and everything like that to ensure that the product that we put out here in Grenada is of best quality, all right? It's an ongoing ongoing effort that the government has started, right, through a number of different programs and so assisting our young people through the Imani programs, a number of programs where you see young people get involved in so.
Remember when we spoke to the Honorable Minister with responsibility for youth development, Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis, she mentioned specifically the emphasis on farming and youth in agriculture, the ministry's youth in agriculture program. They're working along with the National Insurance Scheme right now to secure lands for some of these young farmers. Because the National Insurance Scheme may have lands, different areas, that they can now, through that program, secure these lands for use by young farmers. Instead of the land just sit down there, there could be hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of crops coming out of those lands on a yearly basis. So the ministry, working along with the NIS, and also working along with different agencies, the Grenada Development Bank, you may want to get a pump and so, the Ministry of Agriculture deeply, and so on, to help these young farmers get into land and start producing. But not only that, but remember, we spoke yesterday as well of the importance of that trip that the Honorable Peter David just made to Russia. And out of everything else, remember just that line about the wheat from Russia, I don't think people really focus on that one line.
It didn't sink in as yet. Yeah.
That low-cost wheat. They never say low quality. They said low-cost wheat. That's going to mean pig farmers would smile.
Yes.
Poultry farmers would smile because it could nearly cut by half the price of feed or even more according to the volume that you're getting, because Russia is one of Earth's, if not the biggest producer of wheat on the planet. And if they can supply little Grenada with a lot of that, man, we in thing. I mean, we poultry farming right now, we're spending $200 million a year on chicken. We like chicken. We like too much chicken. $200 million we're spending a year. In 10 years, that is what, $2 billion?
Yeah, that is
$2 billion.
That's a lot of flying, you know.
$2 billion Grenadians spending every 10 years at the current rate. $2 billion we'll be spending every 10 years on chicken. That $2 billion could stay here. You know what a $2 billion could do for our economy?
We need to do much better than that. We need to do much better than that.
But it can't only be up to government. Listen, here's what government has done. You going to do a poultry project and you have to bring in your equipment to do your poultry project, Devon, you're getting 100% concession. You're getting 100, in other words, you're paying next to nothing. So you could secure your stuff, you're bringing it in, you're getting 100% concession on that. You're bringing in vehicles. Let's say you're bringing in a freezer truck to transport, after you kill, to transport the meat from there to the different supermarkets or so. You're getting 100% concession on that. Not 50%, not 20%. You're getting 100% concession on that. And now, to get the price of feed down, the Honorable Peter David has made that contract with the people and them who are the real wheat that you need to be able to do that. And you're saying that government ain't doing anything? You, the individual, now, there are people that may have the money to start up a poultry farm. There are people that could come together. It might be 3 or 4 people. And we have mentioned before on this program, probably the supermarkets need to do that. That Huggins and Hubbards, so Food Fair and Foodland, together with Carriacou and Andals, all of them probably need to come together and decide that we, IGA, that we are going to do a fowl farm. And they know for a fact, without even asking beforehand, that they will get 1,000% support from the government of Grenada to do something like that.
Big time.
They can do it.
Yeah, they'll do everything, manage it. And
Country Cold Store, nothing is keeping them from getting involved in that. Instead of having to import that they're growing it here, nothing is stopping them from doing that. Yeah, because if we're eating $200 million worth of chicken on a yearly basis, that is $200 million leaving Grenada. Eh?
Of course.
That's $200 million that could be staying here.
Imagine, somebody as Country Cold Store, Mr. James Lewis, 50 years in the business.
Yeah.
Right now, just importing chicken.
So imagine, he understands the aspect of the storage and so on and different aspects of the business.
Exactly.
So imagine if he were to join up with Foodland and Food Fair and Carriacou and IGA and Andals and all of them join up and say, We're doing this massive chicken. And imagine the employment that could create, boy.
Exactly, right throughout.
Imagine the employment. And then even without the wheat from Russia, if you have that volume of poultry being produced in Grenada, because there'll be that draw on the resources of the producers, the price could go down a bit.
Of course, the price will drop.
Yeah, because they're selling more, so the price could go down a bit.
And not just that, we will be producing much healthier chicken and pork for consumption.
We show it on no steroids.
Exactly, and we show you on potent thing for a long time. But we don't even know the age of those chickens. But anyhow, but these are some of the things that we have to continue to push to get people involved, right, as much as possible in agriculture. Cooperatives. I mean, we tend not to understand and see the importance of cooperatives in coming together. Farmers, different farmers, young as well as old, women, and so come together, come up with your different plan, business plan, and go, right, to the GIDC, Grenada Development Bank, and so, and seek financing. If you don't have, I mean, they know how to prepare a business plan, right? There's places that you can go through the Ministry of Agriculture, GIDC, Grenada Development Bank. They will assist you or point you in the direction, right, for help. It's so important.
Let me raise another one here, Devon. There has to be a rethink, and we keep saying that every week on this program. There has to be a rethink by the average Grenadian of how we do certain things. Today, I am sure that Grenadians have spent today over $1 million on snacks for children to go to school.
Yeah.
I'm positive, over $1 million. I'm using a conservative figure here. I'm pretty sure it's much more than that. But for today alone, just today, not the week, not the month, today alone, I'm sure Grenadians spend over $1 million in snacks.
Important.
Talking about corn kernels. Yeah. Imagine we importing plantain chips.
Yeah.
So plantain chips.
And the plantain is produced here.
Yeah.
I mean, we plant it and send it down.
Yeah. I went to a particular supermarket, I see Tambran, you know.
Yeah. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning,
sir.
My friend.
So let me address you all guys, you all gentlemen properly. Good morning to Mr. Scott, and good morning to Mr. Romain.
Good morning.
And pleasant morning to your listening audience. Now, agriculture. Let me be brief because I always say I want to kind of stay within the time and don't aggravate other people. Agriculture is not gone through. But what we need here is some dictates. No. One, we have to find markets. Because you cannot tell people to plant anything if when they plant it and it comes through, they cannot find market. So one, we have to find markets. Now two, which is my most significant point, centrally control all tools, equipment, apparel, pesticide, and fertilizers for agriculture. Legislation to make all land that is workable by the hook or by the crook. 3, collective farming, because if we have to supply 200,000 pounds of pumpkin to Trinidad or Barbados, we want to make sure that is sustainable. So we have to make sure that we know that there are enough farmers planting pumpkin that will guarantee that amount of pounds. And the last point is, I always say, maybe that's a hard one, guaranteed prices. So if we tell you to plant pumpkin, and we tell you that pumpkin will be $2.50 a pound, it means that once we have the X amount of pounds of pumpkin that they was asking for, it means that the prices would not drop. So, and gentlemen, I always talk about a one-party state, and it rattles a lot of my NNP friends and associates. But the reason why I just be saying that is because we have to cut through a lot of the bureaucracy in things. Now, let us be honest. We know that the businesses in this country have to make them money. But if those private businesses that control all the tools, all what goes with agriculture, and is too high, whereby it disadvantages the farmer, it disadvantages the consumer. What it means is that we have to take control. We have to take control of these things in order to make it work. And that's the reason why these points I point out there when it comes to agriculture, you know, this is the way forward. We have to talk to the people who bring in the stuff now. We have to say, listen, the stuff you're bringing in, the markup on it is too high. So we're giving you the opportunity, you know, to kind of, you know, to cushion the landing in terms of the prices. And failure to do so based on what we know you are paying for it, based on the duties that you are being paid, and based on what you're selling it to the farmers for, we say, listen, we cannot go along that route. You understand? It's not sustainable to the farmers. It will bring the country down, and as a result of that, we have to take full control of it. And that's the reason why I say there are certain things in this country that we cannot put in the hands of private people. We have to take full control of it, because that is the only way it will work. Gentlemen, I hope I make some sense in my contribution, and I trust you all will have a pleasant weekend.
All right. Thank you very much.
I take care.
And Devon, I was making a point before the caller called that when it comes to snacks, we're spending a significant amount of money on snacks. Yeah, we, Grenadians, we're spending a lot of money on this. Just check up. You as an individual, check up really. When you give your child money on a daily basis to go to school, and even worse when they're home during the summer period, and it's the corn curls, and it's the tortilla chips, and it's the Pennacool, and it's the Buster, not Buster, the Chubby, and the Orchard. And all of these snacks and high sugary content and high salt content things that they're buying. Meanwhile, we have mangoes. And we blaming government, you know.
Yes, our fault.
We blaming government. We had the mango tree. We have mango. We ain't going to take a container and cut up some mango and say, let's give our child that to go to school with. And then the child now, because we've created this mentality that something wrong when you're doing those sort of things, the child now don't want to go with it. Yeah, they want the dollar so they could go and buy the chips.
Exactly.
But you wouldn't make the plantain chips and get them.
You know, I just mentioned
fry some
something.
plantain chips with the coconut oil and get them.
Tamarind ball. I see you have tamarind ball coming from outside into Grenada.
Yes, so somebody had to be a man.
I mean,
don't bring it in front of me.
Come on, people. We need to do better than that.
You know, when I was a child and we on break time, what we used to go and buy was, you had damsel stew.
Yes, tamarind ball.
You have mango stew. And in Trinidad, you know, they used to have the hot one. They had the sweet and sour, and they had the red sweet mango. So you used to have that. But it's locally made.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then the sugar was coming from Carriacou. So anyhow you take it. It was locally made. You had Bene ball, what they call in Trinidad, Bene ball and Kaiser ball. All these sort of things that were made locally in Trinidad. Even here, you have the tamarind ball. You have your guava fudge, you have your guava cheese, you have all these sort of things that can be locally made alternatives to some of these things that I have nothing against Brother Monroe and them and up in Grenville and Brother whatever his name is there that sell these things. Nothing against them.
All these guys and them,
but I'm saying that if we as a people change the mindset and decide that we're going to buy local and give our children local stuff to eat. You have golden apple falling off your tree and you're giving your children money to go and buy things that ain't good for them. They have golden apple, you have French cashew, you have oranges, you have grapefruit, you have all these local things, bananas, and we ain't getting them.
But you know, we as a people could change the direction of the type of stuff that the business people giving to us, you know. Yeah. If we refuse, if we change our habits and our patterns, and we decide we are going to eat healthy and more local, you think they're going to import all these things? Because you won't sell.
How many people ever went to D.A. Monroe and say, listen, I could supply you with tamarind ball, I could supply you with 500 tamarind ball every 2 days or whatever it is. How many people ever went to them? I sure if I called them and asked them now, they would say never.
Never.
You understand? We can change that. You can't blame them. They're running a business and they're getting stuff.
Yeah,
but it has to do with volume too. If you understand economics, you know a lot of it has to do with volume. You have to be able to produce consistently high volume, high quality stuff over a period of time to maintain your market. Because anytime you drop, that is it.
In problems.
Right? But Devon, just before, because I know time is quickly running out on us.
We basically out of time.
I'd just like to congratulate all of those who came out to the funeral yesterday of our good brother Martin out there in Bolio. And I think we were well represented. I saw buses coming in from different areas. I know that out in St. Andrew, I saw Sister Delma had some people down there. And all of the constituencies, basically, they sent different people down because I saw people from nearly every constituency down at the funeral yesterday for good brother Martin. So I just like to...
gone but not forgotten.
Yeah, definitely not forgotten. I thought I was putting him down with the flag, boy. Yeah, serious. That the flag on the man call from everything, you know. Yeah.
Well,
so I just have to say a good morning to all of you. And again, to all of you, it was good to see the NNP family come out and really send out a brother. And
unity is strength.
Yeah, man. I see people from St. Patrick. I see people from St. David. People was there. I see St. Andrew. People was there. And so on, who make bus and send down constituency organized. And they send down and so on. So it was good.
And as an organization, we continue along this road supporting each other. We can never go wrong. We will forever remain strong and united.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey, Devon. Morning. How you, man?
Not too bad, my brother.
Morning, Mr. Scott.
Hey, yeah, man.
How you, man? Yeah, man. I with the flag, man. You know, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I have to give you money appropriate.
I see you in your black suit and your green tie and thing.
Yeah, man. What you mean? I'm a brother, man. My soldier, man.
Yeah, man. He was.
I didn't make sure they played, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he was a serious soldier.
Man, good, we throw down the car, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. You had to handle him gently.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
And his service was well appreciated by the NNP party.
Yeah, trust me. You get like a military funeral day.
Yeah, man.
Well deserved.
Really represented.
Well deserved. I tell you, man, that's a rock. All right, my brother.
Yeah, take care.
All
right. And a happy latest Father's Day to you and the, you know.
Yeah, man.
You too. All right.
All right.
Take care.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's it.
That's it for us today. And as I leave, again, I just want to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, and be proud. Be proud to be a father.
Devon, one thing I have to say before we go on that. Father's Day is for fathers. This nonsense about I's mother and father. Listen,
Stop
at least give the fathers one thing. Give them the day.
Give us the day.
Fathers doesn't come on Mother's Day and say I's mother and father. It have fathers who is mother and father.
Yeah, but we don't do that.
We doesn't do that.
Yeah.
At least give fathers the if you have a person there that is not operating as a father, there's no need to go into all of that sour thing on the day itself.
And they like to rub it in. Stop that. Give us what is ours.
Give fathers the day, man.
Yes.
So happy Father's Day to the nation.
To the nation.
All right.
And be proud to be a father. Hey, in everything that you say and do, we want to be speaking to and not about you.
The new National Party, NNP Utah, in association with WeiVybz, presents a pre-Fisherman's Birthday Bingo. The new National Party, NNP Utah, in association with WeiVybz, presents a pre-Fisherman's Birthday Bingo. On Saturday, 22nd June, at the Victoria Park in Grenville, starting time 7 p.m. It's $50,000 in cash and prizes to be won. $50,000 in cash and prizes. Tickets cost $40 for one. Pay $70 and we give you 2 tickets. Music by DJ Camus. Make it a date. Saturday, 22nd June, Victoria Park, Grenville. $50,000 free Fisherman Birthday Bingo. Don't you dare miss this.
Grenada moves to improve trade balance. We'll have details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for Thursday, June 13th, I am Rakisha St. Louis. Grenada moves towards improving the balance of trade with a worrying deficit of $1.17 billion in 2018. A national exporters consultation was held on Thursday to chart the way forward for critical improvements in the trade environment. The consultation focused on the Exporters Fresh Produce Act, requirements for trade in soursop and golden apples, and the importance of striking a balance between imports and exports. Trade has been described as pivotal to economic development. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Trade, Aaron Francois, says Grenada must work to rectify the deficit in trade in 2018.
At the end of 2018, we had a trade deficit of $1.17 billion. Yeah? Above 1.05 billion in 2017. So it's increasing. This deterioration was driven by an 11.1% increase in the value of imports. So Grenada continued to import significantly more than we are exporting. We all know that trade is pivotal to economic development.
While the Ministry of Agriculture is concerned about the trade deficit, it is highlighting the importance of maintaining standards and transparency in the export markets. Permanent Secretary Elvis Moraine says the time has come for farmers and stakeholders to change the way they do business. He says trade is not just about local earnings, but economic development.
One of the things that hit us to the core is the issue of traceability. Whatever we do, whatever we put on the export market, in case, God forbid, something, were to happen, we have to be able to find a very clear mechanism by which we can trace, the source of this. Now, I really applaud some of you for keeping this going, but of course, the time has come for you to lift the standard of what you do. And we have to focus on, of course, maintaining standard. Now, what you're doing is not just an individual thing, but it's the face of the tri-island state of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique.
Grenada's Foreign Minister, Honorable Peter David, and his Russian counterpart, Sergei Lavrov, have discussed the construction of a regional medical center in Grenada, whose services will be available to citizens in the Caribbean. And according to Mr. Lavrov, this project is very promising. It was discussed during a meeting between both men following an official visit to Russia by Minister David. They say this could change the face of medical care in the region. Both men discussed the prospects of implementation of projects in the area of healthcare, investment, education, and culture, among others. Minister David also discussed selling fish products, spices, coffee, and cocoa to Russia. According to Mr. Lavrov, they also discussed the delivery of Russian vaccines and medical equipment to the Caribbean.
Speaking both as Minister for Foreign Affairs of Grenada and as Chairman of the Conference of Foreign Ministers of Carriacou, I say that I am optimistic that the relationship between the Russian Federation, Grenada, and the Caribbean region will be deepened and certainly will work to the benefit of both the Russian Federation, Grenada, the Caribbean region, and the entire world.
Grenada's Foreign Minister, Honorable Peter David. His official visit to Moscow is the first such visit of a Grenadian foreign minister to Russia since the re-establishment of bilateral diplomatic ties in 2002. This is the National Report. We'll have more news after the break.
Every summer, the Spice Island of Grenada is transformed into the Caribbean's biggest party, Spice Man.
Foreigners from all over coming down to Grenada.
Come experience the warmth of our people. Trending team fats, the revelry, the pageantry, and why we are the Jab Nation. The Kids Our Future shines on August 3rd in the Children's Carnival Frolic and the Junior Calypso Show. 7 beauties take center stage as the Queen of Carnival is crowned on majestic Thursday, August 8th. The prestigious Soca and Groovy Monarchs are crowned on Carnival Friday night, August 9th. Enjoy the pulsating rhythms of the Still Pan at the Junior and Senior Panorama on Carnival Saturday, August 10th, and Real Steel, August 17th. The March Gras crowns the Calypso Monarch on Carnival Sunday, August 11th. 2 days of frolicking in the Caribbean sun kicks off on Monday morning, August 12th, with the biggest juve in the world, followed by pageant and Monday night mass. The creativity and splendor of our mass parades on the road Carnival Tuesday, August 13th. Join us in the Jab Nation of Grenada, August 8th to 12th for Spice Mass 2019. Many events, one carnival.
Welcome back. The future of beekeeping looks bright as the Ministry of Agriculture, through collaborative efforts with the Food and Agricultural Organization, put plans in place to boost the local beekeeping sector. Through a one-year project titled Strengthening the Apiculture Value Chain in Grenada, the ministry will support the development of policy and action plan to increase the livestock production, honey production, the development of a national honeybee surveillance system, training of beekeepers and extension officers, and improvement of the institutional capacity of the Beekeepers Association of Grenada will all be given priority going forward. We get more in this Mina Booker report.
The project Strengthening the Apiculture Value Chain in Grenada aligns with the Ministry of Agriculture's objective of promoting sustainable agriculture, forestry and fisheries production, and the strengthening of food and nutrition security. Project consultant for the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO Dr. Patricia Bedford, was on Island Tuesday to meet with beekeepers and explained the focus of the project.
We hope to do a consultation on the existing and potential market opportunities that there are. I think that will mainly be for the national market for now. And I'm sure you've heard about the value chain. Has everyone heard about the value chain? And you understand what value chain means? It is more than just when you have the honey, it is marketing this honey, who you're going to market it to, and the different products. Because, you know, from the hive, you have the propolis, you have the wax, you have the pollen. Just from that one hive, you have many products that you can market. So one of the focus is there a market available, how large a market is, and for each of those products, what is available for that. So that is what we're going to be, that is one of the objectives. I mentioned about the restructuring and institutional capacity of the Beekeepers Association. And as Dr. Cummins said, we're going to also look at developing a honeybee surveillance system.
The project contributes to Grenada's target setting 50943 related to the improvement of capacity of the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries and relevant partners to improve nutrition and healthy eating habits through development of urban and peri-urban agriculture. The project will additionally support design, monitoring and implementation of approaches, policies and interventions that promote equitable access to and sustainable management of productive natural resources. It will also support the improvement of access of poor rural producers and households to appropriate technologies, inputs and market. Dr. Kimmond Cummings, Chief Veterinary and Livestock Officer within the Ministry of Agriculture, elaborating on the significance of such initiative, says it is to mainly push the beekeeping sector forward.
Part of these funding would be used, we're hoping would be used to, as you know, to develop our surveillance system, but also market assessment and the value chain. It's an ongoing discussion to see where we at in terms of our production and where can we go to the next level with respect to production again.
Participants gave their thoughts on the project Strengthening the Apiculture Value Chain in Grenada.
Well, one of the reasons we're here today is to try to revive the association. So, coming out of this last session, we have set a date for us to meet. mainly with new beekeepers, people who are interested in forming this association. Because as you know, Bermuda has the finest one in the world. And the other products, of course, can come from beekeeping. So I'm looking forward to maybe working with young people.
Coming out of that meeting here today, I think it was a very productive one. We were able to have a good assessment as to where we are in terms of the organized structure of beekeeping and how can we take that industry forward. So I think coming out of that meeting here was really productive, and I think we can really put in some good effort into helping that association or the whole structure of beekeeping in Grenada to continue to advance.
As part of the consultations for this project, the areas identified for improvement include improving stakeholders' understanding of existing and potential markets and strategies, analysis of the honey value chain and market assessment study, restructuring and improvement of institutional capacity of the Beekeepers Association in Grenada. For the Ministry of Agriculture's Public Relations Unit, I am Mina Buka.
Thank you, Mina. That story just ended the national report for today, Thursday, June 13th. Let's recap the top story. Grenada moves to improve trade balance. On behalf of everyone here at the Government Information Service who made this newscast possible, I am Rakisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.